CQDX, CQ, 9 Alpha Tango, 791 Gulf Islands, North Pacific on the side.
Hey there, young fella, how you going?
How goes it, eh? Who is that in there? Bring her back.
4-3 Whiskey Charlie, 181 Mike. That's Joe with his new Alpha Tango, I reckon.
You betcha. We got you in there, Mike. Sounding good there. 43 Whiskey Charlie, 181. You're slamming in here as usual. Yeah, a couple days ago, I became an AT member. They invited me in, so I'm an AT member now. And I took that invite because, you know, as much as I love the UDX group, a lot of people out there in foreign countries have a real tough time making out what UDX is. They just don't get it right. So I get really frustrated. And Alpha Tango is a lot easier to understand there, QSL. Yeah, you betcha. That's what it still is. You have to get into the group, you have to work over 50 countries. And, you know, I've been using 791 numbers since the 1970s, and I've been in all different types of groups. I'm still in. I mean, I'm in the Romeo Charlie group, Alpha Uniform group, and, of course, UDX, and a bunch of other ones as well, World Radio. But I think we'll kind of stick with Alpha Tango. But, yeah, there are definitely rules and regulations in the group. And I do QSL. I've always QSL'd. Except the modern age is kind of like doing it over the computer. I'm still kind of old school, Mike, where I send them out in the mail there, QSL. Oh, yeah, I've been on here a long time. I've been here nearly 50 years now, coming up just about half a century. So, you know, I'm sure we've talked maybe back in the day, even at my last QTH. Yeah, I got a big box of QSL cards down in the basement there, and that's one thing I didn't chuck out. I mean, I did kind of clean house there a few years back and downsized. I mean, as we get older, we want less things. We kind of become more minimalist, right? So I sold a lot of things, got rid of a lot of things, but I did keep my QSL cards, and I still actually have my logbooks going back. The first time I got into radio, when I got my first radio, 1977, so I started keeping logs, written logs in early 78, so I have them all. I tell you what, man, it sounds awesome, man. Your audio's great. The signal is just slamming in here into the red. Really nice sound and station coming out of the South Pacific. You know, that's one thing. I saved all my radios, and I still got my first one sitting in front of me. And I'm looking at it. It's a little small mobile with a chrome front on it, chrome dials, little numbers on the channel selector with a light behind them, and TRC 452, got a little power supply on top. And I had it hooked up to a half-wave Radio Shack antenna back in those days. That's what it is. Mine was just an AM. And you know how I got into radio? Back in 1976, my dad bought a CB, Citizens Band receiver. Not a transmitter, just a receiver. And it had a little antenna on the back, and it was a 23-channel receiver. And I used to sit and listen to all this skip coming in, not really knowing what it was, but I could hear they're having fun talking to each other. I says, hey, I'd like to do that. I want to talk to those guys. So Mom and Dad, in 1977, I was 13, they bought me a radio. Oh yeah, lots of fun, and you meet lots of people on there, and I'm sure a lot of those old timers are long gone now, but you never know. If you look in your log, and I looked in my logs, we may have crossed paths back in the day. We may have made contact. I used to talk to Australia a lot back in the early 1980s there, QSL. Yeah, well, at least you got it, and at least you're still into the hobby. And I know a lot of guys that kind of just totally got out of it. They sold it all and never really got back into it. But it's something I always hung on to. I just, you know, it was really big. You remember back in the 70s, Citizens Band Radio was a huge, huge thing. I mean, they made a movie about it. Wasn't that like Smokey and the Bandit or something with Burt Reynolds? And they had the song out there, Trucker Convoy song. And it was a big thing. And then it just kind of faded away. I think kids nowadays are more into their iPhones and computers, QSL.
Yeah, copy that, that's for sure. So, yeah, it was. And a lot of the, when the cycle changed too, a lot of people dropped off. Funny you say that, one of the fellas that I used to talk to, local bloke, when I was a kid, 35 years ago. Oh, yeah, don't have to think about that. Anyway, I haven't spoken to him for 30 years. I came across him the other day.
That's amazing. That is absolutely amazing. Now, that's pretty cool when you do stuff like that. I remember back in the day when I was a kid, we'd go to these breaks. They'd have them at a hall every so many months, and you'd meet some of the guys you talked to. They did a Citizens Brand break, coffee break thing, and you kind of talk with people and you exchange QSL cards. That was kind of like a late 1970s type thing. But no, I'm glad I stayed with the hobby. I think it's good. It's I mean, you meet a lot of people on the radio. Sometimes you never meet them in person, but you certainly talk to them over and over, QSL. Oh yeah, Jay, I talked to him quite a bit there. Usually down on the lower ones there, 38, 39, sometimes 41, 42, but I've been speaking with Jay for years, and he's actually one of my friends actually on Facebook as well. So I see what he's up to. He sees what I'm up to. And yeah, no, I've got Jay logged many times. That's really cool. Yeah, well, if I was in Australia, I definitely want to meet you guys too. Maybe one of these days. It's a long way from the Gulf Islands in the North Pacific, but I know it's a good place to be. You guys are, I think, going into your summertime right now, so you probably got some nice warm weather down there.
Called the Kiwi River, and it's very pretty on the
Oh, is that right? Hey, holy cow! I didn't realize you're getting all that rain. Well, what part of Australia? And you're not in Queensland, no? What's that? Well, I got a computer. Yeah. What is it? Lake? Hotel Uniform Mike Echo Hume QSL. Lake Hume. Okay, I'll Google it. I'm in my radio room and I got a computer right beside me here, so let's just kind of look that up right now and see. Lake Hume Resort, New South Wales, Australia. Hey man, that looks like a really nice place. Wow, it almost sounded kind of semi-tropical, huh? Is it kind of semi-tropical there? I'm looking at the palm trees. Yeah, that's very interesting, but I don't think it gets as cold as, like, I mean, to me, cold's a matter of perspective. So what would you get down to at your coldest? Maybe about 5 degrees Celsius? That is really interesting, no, because I know, I mean, I grow a lot of Australian plants here, like callistum, bottlebrush, eucalyptus, and we have a big Tassie tree fern in our garden here. Only place in Canada they grow is out here on the Gulf Islands, and we do grow lots of palm trees here out on these islands, so -6 for us is actually cold too, believe it or not, because we have the Pacific Ocean around us, and if we get down to -6 in the winter, that's really cold for these Gulf Islands, QSL. That's amazing, eh? And people don't realize, and I tell other people that, they don't realize how big Australia is. You know, they look at Australia on a globe, and they see this island in the South Pacific, you know, a good-sized island, which is about the same size as continental USA, QSL. Oh yeah, no, it's big. I mean, you guys have, what, 3 time zones? And if you're flying from one side of the country, like for you are wherever, to Perth, it's probably, what, a 4-hour flight?
Yeah, it is. 4 hours from Melbourne, 4.5. It's really, you're sort of looking at 4.5, 5 hours from coast to coast, depends which way you go.
Yeah, it's a big country, man. People don't realize it. I know how big Australia is. It's a big place, and you got lots of climatic zones there too. And you know, you got snowy mountains. You go up to Kosciuszko.
Yeah, true. I'm within, that's where, I'm within, and I'll talk direct line because that's what weather does. I would be within 250 k's of my Kosciuszko. Threadbow, which is the New South Wales Snowy Mountains, is probably one of the biggest snow resorts up there. During the summer months, we quite often, haven't done it for a while, must do it this year, used to go up there from here where I am on the motorbike for lunch for the day, go for a ride, go up there, have lunch, come back. So yeah, I'm pretty happy where I live.
Oh yeah, no, you're living in a beautiful area. I'd love to go up to Kosciuszko there. I know I've seen pictures of it because I grow the snow gum. We have the snow gum eucalyptus trees. I grow them from seed on our island, and they come from the top of Kosciuszko.
Yeah, they're weird little tree, aren't they?
They're beautiful. We grow a lot of different eucalyptus here, and it's the only place in Canada they will grow is right out here on these islands. And there's a lot of them that grow in our town. There's like alpine cider gum, snow gum, spinning gum, so many different types of eucalyptus.
Have you got any oak over there? Like Tasmanian oak, which is just cedar anyway, not Tasmanian mash.
No, don't have that one, but I got a Tasmanian tree fern I planted over 30 years ago. One of those Dicksoni Antarcticas. It's beautiful.
Yeah, no, one of the, it's a hardwood, and I'm not even too sure if they were harvesting it, obviously all that sort of stuff is getting trimmed down. But they call it Tasmanian oak, but it's really just mountain ash, real hardwood, and nice, solid, big tree, like your gums, big tree.
Oh, I got to look that one up. So now what I look at is the hardiness. How cold hardy is that tree, and does it have a chance on our island? And that sounds like a nice one, Tasmanian ash. I should look that up. It might be cold hardy enough to grow it here on our island.
Oh, it would be, because in the mountains here, that's why they call it mountain ash. So our mountains aren't mountains compared to over there or US. But it is up in the higher country that it grows.
Yeah, because I had a grove of mountain gum eucalyptus trees I grew from seed, and they grew to over 30 meters tall. And they were from, I got the seed sent to me from the mountains of Tasmania. And these bloody things got so big, and it was my bad. I planted them. I grew them from seed. I planted them pretty much in a tight-knit grove at about 20 feet. The whole grove, there's about 10 of them in there. And they started dropping branches and started dropping big chunks of bark without warning. So they were getting kind of dangerous. So unfortunately, we had to turn them into firewood.
Yeah, that might be it. Was it red or sort of a chipboard whitey colour?
Really white, and really hard wood.
Yeah, that'd be it for sure. If you've got the seeds from Tassie, because the sales pitch is Tasmanian oak, not mountain ash, Tasmanian oak for the furniture.
That's very interesting. Yeah, because I know parts of Tassie can get quite cool too.
Yeah, definitely grows up in the high country there. That's where it comes from originally. I don't know about originally, but that's where it is. That's how it's originated here. It comes down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like the wattle trees. You get those acacia, some of the more cold tolerant wattle trees come from up in those mountains there, QSL.
Yeah, QSO, I got a bucket load of them. How many do you go on?
I love them, man. I love Australian plants. You know, I planted some bottle brush in town. There's some growing beside the hall in town, man. They're beautiful. Even the seed pods on the Clistamen.
Yeah, I've got them. They're very prevalent where I am. The wattle. They like this weather. And very prevalent on the eastern sides of the hills on the mountains.
Yeah, you got a lot of cool plants in Australia, and lots of nice looking palm trees too. I'm a gardener, right? And I like the exotic plants. And I know what grows in Australia, man. I look at those palms and I kind of drool over it. So when I'm looking where you live, Lake Hume, the first thing I see is these palm trees.
Yeah, well, they grow here too where I am. I've got a farm and I've got I believe it's called, I can never know it was there. How I ended up with this place is a bit of a story. But it's, they call it horse's tail.
Oh, nice. Lucky you. Must be nice to have that problem. You know, I have a palm nursery here, believe it or not. I grow a species of palm tree native to China, and they grow all over Ireland. They grow about 40 feet tall. So we're going to say, 40 feet, you know how many meters that is. That's probably, 12, 13 meters tall, something like that, a little bit more. But some of the palms you guys grow are less cold tolerant. I know you guys in Australia have foxtails and some of the other ones there, and those are the ones I really like. They have no hope in hell of growing here. Wow. Oh, I wonder what that one is. I mean, because there's so many species of palm trees in Australia. And of course, you get up into Cairns, into the tropical parts, you're going to get the coconut palms. Wow, that's amazing. And they can actually live quite a long time, and you know, that's pretty cool. They must be somewhat cold hardy then if they can go through the odd freeze once in a while then, QSL.
Yeah, well, they would definitely get the odd freeze, and I know that they have actually had snow on them. I've seen snow in ports since I've been living here with abnormal conditions, and we're 380 feet above sea level, so we're not that high.
Wow, that's amazing. Yeah, when you think of Australia, you don't really think of snow except maybe up on the mountains. But, wow, that's pretty cool. So do you actually have a wood stove in your house, like a fireplace?
I certainly do. Yeah, I do. Up until a few years ago, still used the actual wood stove, which was bloody great in the winter. Not much hot in the summer, but it was fantastic in the winter. Yeah, still burn a bit of wood, but looking at changing some of that. Wood's getting very expensive here if you can't access it. I'm a bit lucky at the moment. I've got some big gum trees that need some taken out. I've had quite a few big limbs, and I've had big limbs come down. So, and actually there's probably a couple of weeks of bloody firewood in each one, so I'm a bit lucky, but wood's bloody dear. It's like $300 a metre.
Yeah, this stuff here, they're charging about $450, $500, maybe $500 a cord, 4x4x8, kind of truckload of it. But we have so many trees on our acreage here, we just can cut down a couple every year and buck them up, and I split them into firewood. But, you know, I still have one woodshed full of eucalyptus wood that I've been curing for, a couple of years. I haven't even used it yet, and that stuff burns real hot. But that key with eucalyptus tree is split that stuff when it's green. You know what? Right after you cut it, split it up, because it gets pretty hard once it dries.
Yeah, the other option is during the summer months, if you've got it outside, which you haven't, you've got in the shed, if you've got it outside, put a sprinkler on top of it.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, well, the water, it's a bit like your driftwood. To a degree, the water helps it dry and takes the sap out of it. Like, if you understand what I'm getting at, and then when it dries, it's one hit with a splinter and it's gone.
That is really cool. I had no idea. You know, we have a tree that looks very much like eucalyptus that only grows here on this island, and they grow like over 100 feet tall. We have them all over our property, and a lot of people think they're related to eucalyptus because the bark peels like eucalyptus. They're evergreen. They do flower, and these ones get berries on them. They're called Pacific Madrona or Arbutus trees, and they're a broadleaf evergreen, but it's the same kind of wood. You got to split it when it's green, because what happens when it dries, it becomes rock hard and it kind of twists and cracks. Yeah, so anyway, I do like the heat it gives off, though. I tell you what, Arbutus we have here, and then the eucalyptus, man, it burns hot.
What's it like for cold, for ash? Red gum itself lays a fair bit. That type of stuff generally just comes out as powder.
Yeah, powder. It does come out as powder. Same with the arbutus trees we have here. It comes out as a powder, and that's how we heat our house. We have an airtight wood stove. And I got it blasting away right now. Temperature out here currently is about 14 degrees Celsius with rain coming down. And it's nice to go in there to a nice warm wood heat.
Yeah, I agree. you live with it, you don't notice it, is my opinion. So, I can't believe how the conditions hanging in there, mate. It just hasn't dropped off at all.
No, you're 20 over, man. You're just frickin' slamming in here. It's like, holy, sounds like you're sitting next to me.
Yeah, you're the same. Sorry about that. It's bloody great. It's a good afternoon. I went out 35, 38 and had a bit of a listen to see where I was coming from. And I thought, fuck it, I'll go up here at 54 and see someone's up there to take it at 31. I'm glad I did.
I know, it's amazing. No, I love conditions like this. Damn, it's like talking on the frickin' telephone. What was your antenna again? I forget.
Yeah, I just got the 4-element stereo on the flat side. So, but it's coming down in the next week, so in the next week or so, I'm going to build myself a new one from scratch. I was sort of like tinkering with that stuff. Going to make myself a new 4. I haven't decided whether it'll be 4 or 5 element yet. Insulated from the boom.
Oh, wow, that'll be cool. I can't wait to make contact you with that. This thing is working good. Your 4-element stereo is a really good antenna, though, man. That thing is just slamming in here. And I remember now, yeah, I'm running the 3-element stereo on this side.
Yeah, and it would work better. The only reason I sort of want to pull it down is they are pretty light, and the boom's got a bit of a bow in it, and it's definitely got a bow in it. And being on my own, putting it at 45 feet in the air, I probably think I might have twisted a couple of the elements. They're not in line. They're definitely not. It would work better with a bit more attention. So I thought, if I'm going to pull it down, I'm going to, I don't know, a little sense of achievement. I want to build one. I've been doing a fair bit of reading, and build one to the original, probably Yagi specifications.
Yeah, it's amazing how many people build their old antennas, and they come out, they blast in here. I talked to a lot of guys with a homebrew Yagi beams, and it's like, wow, man, do they ever get out? So, hey, if you know how to do it, man, yeah, go for it. That'll be cool. I'll be listening for you when you get that.
Yeah, I got a mate in communications, does microwave and all that sort of stuff, and he used to muck around with these years ago himself. It was a cheap same deal. And the proper, when I told him what I was going to do, he said, oh, that's, and he wasn't talking CB. And he went, oh, that's proper Yagi antenna. And I said, what do you mean proper Yagi antenna? It's proper Yagi antenna. Everything's insulated from the boom.
Amazing. So you're going to go 5-element, so 1 element bigger, so it's going to have a lot bigger boom than QSL.
Yeah, I've only got a short boom now. It's only short boom now, and I've only got to go about another half a metre or so to get it right. So it won't be too bad. But I'm going to make some boom out of PVC. Fill it with, because we got a bird problem here. Fill it with resin to make it hard, and it'll only weigh about 2.2 kilos. And then mount the elements. They say they should be at least 50 mil away from, or 1/200th of a wavelength away from the boom, so it doesn't affect it. Plus the boom's non-conductive, you can fit them on the boom.
That is really cool. So a PVC boom. And yeah, that should work really, really well. And I guess you got access to aluminum there easy there, QSL.
I didn't, that's why it's been on hold. The shop that we use is closed down, but anyway, I got a message last night saying that they'd opened up again in another division. Yeah, so that's what's been the hold up. I've got a bucket load of old antennas and aluminium and everything like that. But some of it fits nice and neat, some of it's oxidised. So I might just start from scratch.
Yeah, so is it actually cheaper in the long run to make your own antenna over buying one?
I would reckon, yeah. I'll let you know. This stereo wasn't cheap by any way, shape or form. It was nearly $700, which I was a bit shocked. I reckon if you don't put the time factor into it, you put that into the enjoyment of the hobby, I reckon I'll buy that one for $300-400.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, I know serial beams are expensive, I know. But, you know, I've been really happy with it. I've run a bunch of beams over the years, and I really like this flat side. They really work good for the long DX there, that's for sure. I mean, you got yours pointed my way. I got this beam pointed into the South Pacific, so nothing stopping us now, man. I mean, 20 over, your consistent signal is unbelievable. Like I say, way into the red.
Yeah, that's what and that's the other thing, Joe, I was thinking about was Pakistan was the four, because of their configuration of how they've got it. It's got bloody fantastic side rejection, and it seems in all reports it works really well. The second, the reflector driven element obviously
Okay, that's very, very interesting. When I put my antenna up, it's really easy. I mean, it's simple. I think it weighs under. I think mine's under 10 pounds, something like that. And I don't think your 4L amount is much more. Maybe it's what, 15 pounds max, if that.
I'd be lucky if it was another 2 pounds heavier than yours, I'd reckon, yeah.
Yeah, not very heavy. They're really simple to put up, and the rotor don't need a heavy duty one, which I like. So with your 5-element beam you make, would you need a bigger rotor?
No, I bought one big enough to change it. What I don't like about the stereo is how it's mounted to the boom. You've only got sort of, it's like trying to hang on to something with the tip of your fingers. There's no support from the other side, if you understand what I mean.
I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, yeah. Well, I had everything prepped before I bought it. Had my my mast, I had my rotor, and I was just waiting for my beam to arrive. I got it in the UK. I bought it new from a store in the UK, and they sent it to me. And as soon as I got that thing FedEx to me or whatever it was, I put that thing together. It was really easy to put together. I matched it. I thought that the matching was quite simple too, the gamma match. And I put that thing up there myself, up 26 feet, and started using it. But I guess your new beam, same thing, gamma match?
Yeah, gamma match, same thing. The only reason I've never had static before, and I've got it horrific now. And I was talking to a fellow in Ireland, and he had the same problem, and he took his stereo down and made it direct feed, put a coil at the bottom of it and direct feeded it, and set it, and it fixed it. My problem is when I'm pointing at you, the antenna's pointing pretty much directly at power lines, and the gamma match is directly at 90 degrees, picking up every little bit off a transformer at 10. So I need to go up with it, I think.
That's very interesting you say that, because some days I get a lot of static. Like right now, I'm getting nothing. It's quiet. But sometimes in the daytime, I get like 8 S units or 9 S units of static. I'm thinking, what is that? Is it my ground or something? So probably because, like you say, it's not a direct feed.
Yeah, I only noticed it before I got the beam. I put a really good vertical up company. I know it wasn't a station master design anyway, and it was fantastic. It's quiet as a mouse, worked good, and I used to have a 5-element beam, and I thought, well, I'm going to go back to the beam, and since I've gone back to all that bucket loads of static. So I was thinking it's a bit of a challenge, you know how it is. You like get your trees out of the ground, I want to get the antenna in the air.
Right on, man. Yeah, no, so your new one will be like a direct feed there in QSL.
Well, that's the plan. I'll put a bowline on it. I'll put a 1,000-watt bowline on it. But I will, to see this one now, probably one of the reasons it works so well is, and I was talking to a mate of mine the other day, and he couldn't believe me, that the SWR doesn't matter, you know, doesn't matter what you do to it, the SWR doesn't change. You can feed 10 watts into it and it's 1-to-1. You can feed 100 watts into it, it's 1-to-1.
Wow, that's amazing. Okay, up here, I'm running an antenna tuner. I have an MFJ IntelliTuner, automatic antenna tuner, and my match is really good right now, but I got a flat match when I go down. I got it kind of tuned between 27,305 where I talk, and up to just below, well, probably about 10 channels down from this one. It's really good. Then it starts to really waver, and it gets kind of wonky, especially if I put some fire in the wire. So you got a great match on yours. Wow.
Well, it took me a week of mucking around to do it. I got it by changing the length of the elements. I moved the elements in and out, in and out, in and out, up and down, and then right at the very end I finished it with the gamma match.
Wow. Okay, so I didn't do that with my elements. I just kind of screwed around with the gamma match. I guess if I took it down and played with it more, because I just wanted to get it up there and start talking on it. So, and I was impatient. But what I have to do, maybe next summer or spring or whatever, is take it down and start playing with the elements.
I put mine up. I was a bit lucky. My neighbour's a contractor, and he had a 75-foot cherry pick here. I got mine up in the air, and I forgot to do the coax cable up at the top.
Oh, no way.
I got down to check the SWR, and it had nothing, and I'm thinking, oh, don't tell me I forgot to do that fitting up. So anyway, I was lucky enough to get a cherry picker to go right to the bottom of the antenna and fill it up.
Oh yeah, you have yours up there high. Mine's only 26 foot to the boom. I stood on my little radio shack here. My radio room here is 40 feet away from the house. So I stood on the roof of the Radio Shack and I kind of propped it all up there myself. But yeah, it sounds like yours is way up there.
It's for the shed. I will have to actually measure it. I'm guessing the shed has a 15-foot peak in it, and then it's got another 18 feet on top of that. I've got another 9 feet to go in it, but it was a bit shaky on my own. 27. I've got 3 poles and they stretch out to 30 feet, and then I'm going to put it on the bottom of the shed, so that'll be 45 feet to the base of the antenna. I'll be happy camper then.
Oh yeah, that'll get it up there for you for sure. Yeah, the roof on this shed is just over 8 feet tall. And and then I got the mast sitting on top of a 2-foot 6x6 block. Got a 10-foot post or 12-foot post, whatever it is. I dug it into the ground, mounted it to the shed, so that kind of supports the side of the masting I have there. And then I got the rotor on top of that. Then another 3-foot piece of mast. So it's 26 foot to the boom. So far, so good. It seems to get out. You know, when I lived on the mainland, I had a tower. I had a 30-foot tower with 6 feet of mast on it, so I had it up 36 feet, and I ran a quad. I ran a full high-gain quad beam up there, QSL.
Yeah, I remember talking about a Moonraker or a high-gain 4-element quad.
No, it was a high-gain Eliminator 2 2-element quad.
Yeah, I remember back in the 90s, probably late 80s, 90s, the Moonraker 4-element quad, they were job amateurs. There was a fella in Hawaii, he'd be long gone now. He used to just rocket it in here every afternoon, sticking it President Green Radio on Maui. He was pointing straight into the sea. I've always thought they were bloody good antenna.
Oh, I love the Moonrakers. I had a friend that lived near me when I lived south of Vancouver on the mainland many moons ago. I'm talking, this is like 1980, 81. He had a Moonraker 4, Avanti Moonraker 4 beam up on I think it was about a 40-foot tower. And no power. He ran a Midland radio, just a 40-channel single sideband AM. He talked everywhere. I just remember going to his place in Australia, not a problem.
Yeah, where was that? Where was he?
He was in south of Vancouver, in the town where I lived, about 25 miles southeast of Vancouver. And he had always talked to Japan, talked to Australia.
Yeah, you just got to get a bit of clear frequency. And what and tell me if you've noticed this one. I noticed if there's a bit, it doesn't seem to piggyback itself, because there's a few signals around. If there's just coming around, I've called out a couple of times, so I'll get my tongue right in a minute. I've called out a couple of times, and then you'll hear some really soft signals, and then it seems to build up again. It's like it's piggybacking itself across the planet.
It's amazing, isn't it, the way Skip works, you know? And my little 2-element high-gain Eliminator 2 quad beam, it had 2 wires around the driver and 1 around the reflector, and it was about the size of a PDL2 beam, but man, did it work good. I had a little Channel Master rotor on it. I put that up. I put it together myself. It would have been December 1980, and we hoisted it up. It was early, first week of January 81, so that was a long time ago, but oh yeah, I used to talk to South Pacific all the time on that one.
It doesn't matter now. This gentleman's silent T and has been for some time. When I was a young fellow, the local bloke, the local technician that used to do all the mod cons, he was an amateur radio man. So, and if he was still with us, he was which I believe he's not. Anyway, he used to be the local radio station's technician. And I remember going out there with him one night when I was about 17. And because the local radio station shut down at 11 o'clock and he'd have to go out and do his phone. I remember going out there one night and he plugged into the 5,000 watt amplifier and the radio antenna. That worked.
Right on, man. Wow. I remember the good old days, man. You know, I still talk to a few people that actually run those Moonrakers. How about you?
No, I have heard one. One, just the other day said he was on a Moonraker 4. No, Hawaii 55, Chucky was his call. He used to just thump in and it was the same as what you said. Just standard radio, just antenna, but he was shooting straight out over the Pacific. But, and anyone that had one, and I bloke that had a Moonraker 6, he talked all over the world, and that was, on 12 watts.
That's right. I remember there was a guy south of Vancouver and he had 2 Moonraker 4s stacked Moonraker 4s. And I remember visiting at his place. They're on a crank-up tower, and he wasn't running power, but like you say, man, he could just talk anywhere with those things.
Yeah, that's what they say. It's all about the antenna.
Oh, yeah, no, it sounds good, man. What your radio is amazing. Your audio is very good. The audio is crystal clear, 100%. Signal not lagging at all, man. Like I say, you're pounding in here up into the red. You're just as strong as any local that would be near me on Vancouver, on the Big Island. Like I say, we have lots of ham operators on this island where I live, but I'm the only 11-meter operator that actually works. I've helped people install a couple of my buddies several years ago, but they only want them for emergency. If some shit goes sideways, they want to have two-way communication, but they never talk on them.